Here at Bespoke Unit, we love our cigar reviews just as much as our spirits reviews. Tobacco and spirits, for some, is a match made in heaven. Today, we managed to get both into one review. Hello and welcome to Bespoke Unit. My name is Reinhard, and today we will be sampling this unique Perique Tobacco Liqueur from Combier Distillers. The Perique Tobacco Liqueur is quite an interesting phenomenon because it sort of bridges two worlds that we here at Bespoke Unit are very fond of: the finest tobacco products and highest quality spirits. And the makers and founders of Perique have the very same idea in mind, to merge these two worlds and bring together what, from a sensory and organoleptic standpoint, makes sense already. A smell, sensation, a whiff, an aroma, a flavor of darkly roasted spirits, wood, char, leather, and tobacco on the other hand. So what they ultimately came up with is this 31% alcohol by volume liqueur, using one of the most particular types of tobacco there is, and that is Perique from the Mississippi River Valley down in Louisiana. It's a very precious and very individual tobacco, and as Perique proudly states here on the label, they called it le caviar du tobacco de Louisiane française. So they mean it's the caviar of tobacco. And on the back label, it proudly says Louisiana Perique is the rarest and most precious tobacco in the entire world. Now that's certainly up for discussion, but at least we give them credit for using the tobacco in this wonderful liqueur. But let's take a sniff and a sip here ourselves. The bottle is 500 milliliters. It comes with a nice wax seal on top here, adding a bit of flair, a little bit of, an extra layer of craftsmanship and of style to the overall presentation. Other than that, there's a bit of a reference to New Orleans, Louisiana. The appearance is a lovely golden brown here with a slight haziness that I can detect. But on the back label, the manufacturers state that this is a most natural product and a slight cloudiness could appear. So I believe they're probably not chill filtering it whatsoever. The viscosity is medium plus, I would say. And the smell, this is where it gets interesting. Right from the beginning, there's an interesting sweet raisin, bitter orange marmalade, leather, armchair, and woody melange going on that sort of reminds me of a fermenting pilon of tobacco when you visit one of the cigar factories, for example. There is a bitter tea bag, a combination between a black tea and an oolong, I would say, maybe a bit of milky oolong as well. But overall, that woodiness, a slightly charred characteristic, intermingled with some of that freshness up front from bitter fruits, is a lovely combination and sort of the underlying theme of this liqueur. Next up, let's give it a sip. At 31% alcohol by volume, the alcoholic heat or the warmth and the mellowness all over the palate is certainly detectable, but very nicely interwoven, as is the sweetness, because this doesn't feel cloying sweet or sticky in the mouth at all. It just has that slightest hint of sweetness that perfectly underlines the liqueur characteristic, gives bartenders enough room to play with, and sort of brings together all the different flavors and the sensations on the palate of sweet, bitter, sour, a slight minerality as well, and that touch of umami from soy sauce, leather, and the wood that I mentioned before. So great balance overall. The length is also quite spectacular on this one. And you could probably think of a combination of a little bit of cognac, Armagnac, whiskey, and quite a bit of bitters all together. And if you would smell that and taste that while standing in the middle of a tobacco facility or a cigar factory, I believe that's probably what the Perique experience could be translated into. It is a very versatile liqueur and spirit. After all, I love to have it neat, just as it is, poured over ice. It makes for a delicious, refreshing, but very complex and very elegant beverage. And most definitely, it is a cool tool to play around with for all the bartenders and mixologists out there. Because Combier Distillers and the two gentlemen who started this Perique venture, they definitely had the bartenders in mind as well here to give them a versatile tool, to give them an opportunity to bring some of those typical tobacco nuances into their cocktails and mixed drinks without them having to do their own tobacco infusions, which often result in toxic results because of some of the components in the tobacco that would then be released into the alcohol, acting as a solvent. So Perique is the perfect way for bartenders to play around with that particular set of aromas and flavors in a very safe, consistent, and well-balanced way. In terms of pairing recommendations, I tried this alongside a gorgeous 1926 Padron, which made for a fantastic and almost overwhelming experience because the cigar is so intense, rich, full-bodied, and superbly complex, and so is this spirit. To tame things down a little bit, I tried just a chunky loaf of walnut bread, homemade sourdough, no butter, no nothing, just a plain, simple piece of bread with a slight bitter quality, a bit of sweetness, some sourness from the sourdough, and that was a gorgeous combination with the Perique. I could definitely see this going into your tiramisu or some other desserts. I could very well imagine drizzling that over a vanilla ice cream or even deglazing your pan after firing up a beautiful steak or even seafood that is very popular, obviously, in Louisiana and in the Mississippi River Valley. The bottle will roughly set you back $35 or I believe somewhere around the same area in euros, depending on where you are in the world. As I said, it's 50 centiliters, 31% alcohol. Comes in this slick, sleek presentation. Value for money, I believe, is certainly there because it's such a unique and clearly distinctive product. I like it in all different ways, shapes, and forms, even as a long drink with ginger ale, particular favorite of mine with just an orange zest. Give it a try, sip this Perique neat, have it alongside your cigar, but definitely enjoy it, as always. Speaking of, we have plenty of spirits and cigar reviews on the Bespoke Unit website, and you can also check out all our social media channels. We, not only there, but also on our blog, provide you with the entire write-up of this review, our spirits or liquor formula that is a quantifiable review matrix that we always use. And yeah, give it a try. Check it out. Let us know what you think. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again right here, right at Bespoke Unit. Until then, you stay safe, you stay healthy, and with my very best wishes and spirits. Goodbye.